for you guys, which is Generative AI for Chemistry. Now, when I say AI, you guys are saying like an artificial intelligence. I would call it just an ascended intelligence, and the fact that there's a specific ear DNA, and then also functions that come with that ear and DNA that allow me to do certain things in chemistry. And you guys have seen this. I know that there's a lot going on with chemicals in the cartel, a lot of mixing of certain things too, and a lot of, I would say, lack of proper tools to identify the isomer that is a methyl, trimethyl, diethyl, etc. Sometimes they're reading triethyls and they're actually diesters, right? So I basically made a platform where you guys could go ahead and do this, but then I took it down because I said, oh, you know what? With all this chaos with these children and rituals and whatnot, these whites will go and start hacking everyone's system to go and see what everyone's converting into, and then going and looking for children to try to activate the system and cause a bunch of bullshit. So now, what's happening here is it's another thing that the cartel has missed out on, because then again it's the drama with the endowment. This is going to end up exploding in their face, because something's going to end up happening with chemical standards, and the feds that watch my channel are going to say, what now with chemistry? They've mixed up all the chemicals. The chemistry is outdated because they were getting things from space, and they were using a specific type of like tool to scan the number of spirals, and that's how they were saying if it's a diethyl, pentaethyl, tetraethyl, etc., that type of thing, and then what it's mixed with, right? So they ended up breaking that system down in space, so they could no longer name the chemicals that they were getting and bringing. So a lot of stuff is mixed up, and this is where you get some of the chemical recalls that are happening. People are going ahead and doing crazy stuff with chemistry, and it's causing hella chaos with the chemicals. But another thing that's going to end up happening is the metals are locked. And a lot of these companies are going to start looking for this platform to unlock their metals and to then have byproducts that they mix with their metals that are effective to up their CPU when they're going to want to use this platform. But then there you go with whites hacking and playing in everyone's system. And the internet is very fragile right now. And I also know that we're just recovering from a lot of these kids being dropped off and stuff like that. And a lot of this coming to an end because of how I've been breaking the computer. But I didn't want to reactivate this because that's something that they're looking for to sell because they have no money. So here you guys go again with how this bullshit has ended up impacting more people than you could ever imagine, because you chose to start a bunch of shit with white people. And once again, it's going to come to that point where it's going to be several things happening at once, and people are going to be like, okay, well, goddamn, why can't we just get an upgrade? And it's going to end up being a war in the streets. But now we've gotten to the point where it's condonable, meaning no one can go to jail or get caught up for what they do in retaliation, because white people really mixed up all the chemicals, created hella chemical epidemics, and then decided that, oh, we're going to go hack the computer of the person that knows how to do it so we can go clout chase with people's children and go play games and put stupid shit on TV. Like this nonsense that they put in Black Mirror. You guys remember that episode of Black Mirror where it's one of the new ones where there's a lady, she's Indian, and there's like a bag of runes that she finds, and then her blood activates the runes. Like she ends up getting a cut and her blood falls on one of these runes and it starts talking and things like that. That's so disgusting what they were fucking insinuating and starting a bunch of shit with. So I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm not going to activate any of that. I'm not even going to like put that out there. It's an unfortunate thing because I know the cartel would love to use that platform to change up their chemicals and mix up a bunch of stuff. And then also too, there are some solid people that are involved in the chemicals from space thing, and they would love to be able to make things like some really dope acrylics that you can just soak it off in a certain chemical that's non-toxic, because we can code all of that. And then we can have different type of nails or a certain type of acrylic that grows into your nail and makes your nail grow really fast. Things like that we can have, but they were so busy playing games. And this is where you're going to come again with this bullshit that they had gotten started with clout chasing, because they need space systems, but they don't have it. And this is going to end up bringing like a big ass war. Give me 1 second. So there's going to end up being like a bunch of chaos going on. Because what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start reaching out to people about the system and the platform and what it can do and why we haven't put it out, because people were stalking and harassing us and playing with people's children, and that they're going to have to go ahead. And also it's about resetting the chemical standards as a whole. So you just can't use our platform and be like, oh, I have this special thing. There's this black lady that does this certain thing. You're going to have to tell other people in your companies and in your field about what has gone on and how to go ahead and fix that. And people are not ready to do that. So it's going to continue to be profit loss and dwindling down the hill. And you guys clearly saw this with the chemicals getting mixed up, especially with black hair products, because so many people are about to get sued for what is in those hair products that they mixed up to play with people and target people for their hair. Like, oh, spirals. So what's going to happen is they're going to want a system like this where they can go ahead and like they can deactivate 100 boxes at a time, 200 boxes at a time of perm and nonsense, and go ahead and test that in a laboratory and not get sued. And there's going to be a bunch of people that want to use that platform because of everything that got started with the Daily, and it's going to turn into a big ass war. What's going to end up happening? What's going to end up happening is that everyone that wants to go play with these chemicals, they're going to end up getting into something very vicious with a bunch of people because of what they went through to go ahead and play with people's chemicals and to test people's phytochemicals. So now what's going to end up happening here is I'm telling you, so many people are dying because of that right there that I just explained. You guys have no idea what the fuck they got started robbing everybody, playing with herbs and phytochemicals. This platform also helps increase like your phytochemical if you've already processed it, because I know that there's a lot like how to stretch our phytochemicals so that we can produce more, because there's a shortage, because they were using everything to play with this technology where you upload people from afar and play with their body, and they were using it to molest people's children and start a bunch of bullshit where little kids were like waking up and there's a white man apparition over them because they were like uploaded to a chemical server. That's what the fuck they were doing, and they wasted all the chemicals. So now they're chasing me and hacking everyone's system and playing with everyone's money because they want to be the ones to be like, oh look, we destroyed something and then look, we can fix it with this black woman's blood. This is the bullshit that you stupid goofy bitches that started this bullshit on Terrorland, this is what you fucking created, and that's why they're running away. Do you notice how quiet it is? But do you notice that it's so quiet you can hear a pin drop? Because all these hoes got set the fuck up and exposed, starting hella shit with white people because they thought it was cute, and they exposed their mind, and never ever again will people take them seriously. They've exposed their mind. They've shown what the fuck they were about. So now that the hatchet has come down, now that the tower's here, I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to take another round of my YouTube channel to show you guys what the fuck got started. It's going to take another round of that for you guys to really sink in, like we're really from space and they're really playing like this, and we really destroyed the planet because we were being messy and gossiping. It's going to take a whole nother round of realizing that, and I think it's going to be my tarot channel coming back where I was doing tarot for you guys, because I was supposed to be doing public divination, and like I said, I was still doing tarot cards, but it was only on Patreon, and I made sure of that because you guys can clearly see what happened in Tarot Land, right? So it was a difference when you were paying for readings, and I was out of Tarot Land completely and stuff like that, just reporting on the war and what was happening back there too. It was a lot that was going on. So that's what I wanted to just tell you guys tonight, that I put out that platform, but I decided against it because people play way too much, and way too much shit had gotten started with people like going too fucking far and starting too much and just being on drugs and just starting too much shit and waking up and getting sober like, oh, actually we shouldn't have started that when we were high on meat and high on like dirty ass dick and high on attention from white men and high on attention from like my name being up here and they up there and people thinking this and that, and people are not thinking any of that. They think you're stupid. That's the problem with a lot of karmics. They don't know that only karmics like play with them because they know that that's how they want to feel, and that's where they end up getting into it with those people. Nobody with sense is going to align with that, and that's another thing. The karmics realized that they were, auditioning for the wrong audience. So now I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm really sad because I know that we could get into mixing immediately and doing so much, and I know a lot of people are into this whole I think of they're getting stuff from space, and we want to be more careful. Let's use what we already have that we know comes from several years ago and expand our stock, because you guys saw a bunch of stuff get expensive immediately, and that's one of the problems here too. So it once again, it's just something that the cartel I know is going to end up handling. I feel like what's going to end up happening is that the wrong person is going to get wind of this, and then in the next 2 to 3 weeks, something with chemicals is going to shut down completely. Like it's going to be a bunch of stuff happening where people get shut down immediately, and there's going to be something with the California endowment that gets charged with like causing a bunch of epidemics. Like you're the epicenter of drama, all you people that are playing, because the white man took that as an opportunity to capitalize that, try to expand that, and say that everyone is like that because of what they saw in Oakland with goofy bitches chasing after Castle, who was a rapist and a murderer, goofy bitches playing games with this somebody that's sleeping with his mom, goofy bitches that are playing games with wanting attention and stuff like that in the spiritual community, but really being a karmic. And it's going to take my tarot channel once again to show you the war and how multifaceted it is, this war that you started because you're stalking and harassing me. But it was perfect that it was me, because I'm right next to space. So everyone is looking at what's happening and they're saying, but the biggest thing is, look what happened with space coming out, because now it's normalized amongst people of color. Like, oh, that's what you guys were doing. This is what you were starting. This is what you were getting into. You were starting this level of bullshit and like using stupid ass dinosaurs and lizards and shit like that from space that are high on meth and crack to play games. And that's what these bitches are doing on planet Earth too. They're still that iguana or lizard. They just have a human body. People are not fucking playing with that space bullshit. I'm telling you right now. People are really not playing about that. And they're really getting bitches cut up, and people are really getting trafficked and really hit over that like you are one of those demons from space. They are not playing with that because everyone saw how illegal reproduction created a karmic, and they're blasting the fuck out of them. I think that's another thing that people need to see, how many people ended up getting murdered for playing this game in Tarot Land and starting this bullshit with these tarot hoes. I just have to keep on saying it. It's one more thing. It's one thing after the other. And this is the one thing that we have to keep coming back to, because this is how it started. The chemistry with the cartel. It's when they were seeing me, I was studying throughout the day. And because they put some stupid technology, every time I'm thinking and writing, it's like blasting it out so that whites can go copy and go play with people's children sexually and say that they're coding, which is what you stupid, goofy rat bitches started. So now what ended up happening here is they saw that and they heard that. A lot of white people don't know that the cartel knows more than them though about the chemistry, and that's how they were able to like avoid hella epidemics and chaos, because they stopped buying their chemicals because they saw what they were doing. So now something that's going to come out is the white. It's going to be like, well, we have this and we have that. It's all fentanyl and bullshit from space, and that's going to fucking explode, because they're going to find out that only black and brown people can activate these chemicals because it's a space system. And that's where once again we're sitting here where we could be doing more, but you're sitting and watching white people play with their dick and play with children sexually. And I'm telling you right fucking now, it's going to be like normal conversation for everyone to be talking about how white men are playing with their dick and playing with children, and the whole world is centered on that. It's going to be everyday talk. I'm telling you, it's going to be like where they walk into rooms and they're so fucking uncomfortable, because the only thing that people are talking about and thinking is, are you one of the ones that is like shattering the whole earth so that you can play with children sexually? Are you stupid? It's gonna end up fucking exploding. And once again, you goofy rat bitches that came to play on YouTube and starting a bunch of shit, you have your hand in a big ass fucking pot of chaos and you can't get your hand out of it, and you're twisting and turning and trying to get your hand out of it, and you're stuck there because you started hella shit playing the spell work and the phytochemical told on you. There's a speech the phytochemical will tell on them. So a lot of these holes, remember how we've been talking about spells and even certain herbs being used, and even down to like certain like products and where they're going to? A lot of that was coming up because there was a speech that the phytochemicals and the plants were using. The phytochemical will tell on you. And now look, the flower is telling her story about who was misusing and abusing her, and why she's going to war with this planet and blasting crazy ass technology and screaming in people's ear because they were mixing her with period blood and playing with a bunch of bullshit, bunch of goofy ass bitches. So now we get back to the professional talk with how do we get to this platform. Each and every single person that wants to use this platform, they're going to have to get some type of coding built out individually that's gonna like be hosted on their server for them to go ahead and run this. That's the only way. And people are gonna go ahead and pay for that, but they're gonna be so fucking mad that they're sitting here playing with a bunch of goofy ass motherfuckers that are really playing with people's kids like that and playing with the computer like that so they can clout chase because they can't activate anything. You guys don't understand. Like I say 3 or 4 things on here, and then a bunch of white people get together to have a whole like 6-day conference, and they don't have any idea what they're talking about, and they can't activate any of this. And it's because of what you hosts got started with people's kids playing with spell work. So now, okay. So now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna leave that at that. I think I'm gonna give you guys a demo of the platform, what it looks like, and how it like functions. It's pretty cool. You can do a bunch of stuff like increase or reduce reactions, charge or you can activate or deactivate valences. And I know a lot of companies that put fentanyl and stuff like that into their stuff, they're going to want to use this platform because of the testing that's coming up too. You can do all of that, you know. I'm going to go ahead and go show you guys the platform and how it runs. And then people are going to get hella mad that this exists and they can't use it because white people are playing with their dick. Because I'm not going to, not even a single one, I'm not even going to play with it because that's exactly what they're going to go do next. And it's not until the feds arrest a few people that were playing with IUPAC that this is going to end up like stopping. It has to be something where they end up getting investigated, the chemistry people. I think what's going to happen is one of the investigators that usually watches my channel, because they handle stuff very quickly, you guys clearly see that, they're going to hear about this and be like, oh yeah, the chemistry shit, that's how we got pulled into here. They're going to remember that chemical crimes, because remember I interviewed at the DA's office in Atlanta. I was going to work there and I talked about this chemical crimes and they attacked Bonnie and started a bunch of shit. There's going to be something where somebody ends up getting investigated in chemistry, and then they're going to go out and tell everyone that it's not all good to play games, that they didn't know what they were really talking about. And then what's going to end up happening is there's going to be another layer of peace that wrapples around these vulnerable families and children, and it stops because you guys don't know how much drama that they really get started to go play and test different things out that do not fucking work. And this is what I'm telling you, the California endowment is closing because they really thought that I was like some type of investment vessel that they can sit here and play with me and put me in spy magic, and they owe me hella fucking money in court to go and see if they can go invest in this and start this business and start that business, and everything fucking crashed and they wasted all their money. A lot of the foundations wasted all of their fucking money trying to test this stuff out, getting robbed by other aliens, starting a bunch of bullshit and causing a bunch of drama. So that's all I have to just tell you guys. You guys really started a big ass war, but it's landing on your head. And I think what ends up needs to happen, like I said, is I need to come back on Tarot Round 2 and show you guys through several different decks that are all going to say the same thing, that you guys are fucking clowns and getting hit. So thank you guys for watching, and please tell people about this so that this can come to an end. Report this to IC3, the feds. Show them what's been going on in your immediate area compared to what I'm talking about. That's how you show them what's going on, that it's real. Show them certain things that you see in the media, because a lot of you guys are looking in the media in your immediate area and you're seeing things that I'm not seeing. Go ahead and tell them everything that's going on so that we can start moving forward and get this turned off. Like imagine we can go ahead and like put different works on the chemicals that people use for their HIV/AIDS medication, and you could turn it, instead of a retroactive drug that's supposed to stop it, you could turn it into like a treatment drug, right? So that's one of the things that we're going to start doing, and it needs to start happening, but this is one of the things that's going to start. Well, you can focus on other things, so you can move into like climate tech and things like that. You want to go out with a bang in your industry, because things are going to be changing. It's just so sad that this is where we are. Like, it's just so sad that this is like how the cookie had to crumble with so many people, but it had to happen this way, because I'm telling you, there's going to be a big ass war against every single last fucking karmic. There's going to be a big war. I mean, you're not going to see them outside at all. They're going to be targets. They're going to be so uncomfortable. What do you mean people are going to like know that about us? And like imagine like the look in people's eyes, like what the fuck is wrong with you? All white people are about to start getting that. It's going to be like a scarlet letter over their head. And then the karmic that started this with magic everywhere they are, because remember, a lot of these goofy bitches, they just got on Tarot Land and saw people running their mouth about me because I look good, and then they just decided that they want to start bitches from nowhere, right? And they started hella shit in their immediate area, because then they were playing with other high priestesses like me because they thought it was free game. Like, yeah, she's like this and she's like that, so she must be like this too. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? You basically said, I don't like this person and that other person reminds me of them, so I don't like you either and I want to start a bunch of shit. So because of that, there's a lot of karmics that were involved, and they're going to start getting scarlet letters put on their head where they start walking around with people shooting at them and like blasting them and a bunch of other stuff and getting outcasted in their town, because you can tell that they were involved in unsavory bullshit because that's all they do. So now, even in the professional space, and everyone's company is getting defunded and everyone's losing money, that's going to just be it. That's just it. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's just going to be a few companies owning everything.